We have a distinct pleasure of having Mr. Arno Gujon joining us tonight. He's the only thing in between the dinner right now, so we're going to try to keep it as interesting, as communicative as possible. Please give him one big applause.
Thank you.
Arno is a household name. Everyone in the country knows him. Everyone has heard of him. He became popular back in the day through the Solidarite Kosovo, the humanitarian organization that he started. He became very active, not only helping people, but also spreading the cause and spreading the message about the people, Serbian population in Kosovo. And then later he joined Ministry of Foreign Affairs, leading the Office for Diaspora and Serbs in the region. And now he's leading a newly established Office for Public and Cultural Diplomacy with the idea of spreading the message about Serbia to the world. So what better occasion than to speak with 50 Harvard students. Thank you very much once again. And please, if you want to have some introduction, some first words, then I prepared some questions for you just to kind of go through this discussion.
Thank you, Alexander, for this invitation. Thank you to everyone for coming to Serbia, and I'm sure that you will enjoy your stay here in the capital of Serbia, and that you will, after that, enjoy the Balkans. So I don't know what do you know about this country, about this region, but we'll have some small talk about everything, and after I will be very happy to answer all your questions. And I hope that you have many and that you're not so hungry. But we have a dinner after, just downstairs, so it will be great. So thank you one more time for coming to see us here in Europe, in Serbia, which is one of the most beautiful countries in Europe, I can say. I don't know where you have been until now, but Serbia has really beautiful resources. But what is most important is that it has very interesting and beautiful people. And I'm not speaking about just the physical aspect of the people, but also about the culture and the mentality and everything. So that's my introduction.
Yesterday when we went to the Belgrade Fortress, there is one part you did not see, and that is a monument of gratitude to France. It is a monument erected after World War I. And on the monument it says, "We love France as France loved us," in between 1914 and 1918. So similarly to that, to echo those words, we have the title of this session is How the French Guy in the Serbian Government, How I Fell in Love with Serbia. So we did erect a monument saying how much we love France, but how did Arno fall in love in Serbia? Where did you learn about Serbia when you were young? You were born in the south of France. How does one hear about Serbia, and how does one fall in love with Serbia?
That's a good question. So I'm from Grenoble, so in the south part of France. That's the second most beautiful part of Europe after Serbia. And what can I say? That in my family we heard a lot about Serbia due to history and the common history between France and Serbia. So for you to know, because I saw today that you were at the royal palace of the Karađorđević, so the grand-grandfather, I don't know how to say it in English, of the guy of Filip Karađorđević was Peter Karađorđević. And this guy, he was a Serbian guy, he was the future king of Serbia, and he decided in 1870, so it's a long time ago, to join the French army to fight what is now Germany, so the Prussia. And during the fight, he was hurt. He was even arrested, captured, and he succeeded in escaping. After that, he returned to the front. So, can you imagine that a guy that is he would become a king in a country, decided to risk his own life for the French people, for a country that wasn't his by birth. My grandfather told me this story when I was a young guy. After that, I also listened a lot about the friendship that was born during the First World War. In that time, Serbia, France, America, even Russia, we were all together against common enemies. And we did very great things together. And it was present and it was preserved in my family as it is in Serbia. The monument that you saw today in Kalemegdan, so this story is well known by everybody, and every Serb is familiar with this Serbo-French friendship. But in France, some people, unfortunately, have forgotten it, but my family hasn't. So, as a kid, I was aware about Serbia and about these good people that live there. Unfortunately, at the end of the 20th century, in 1999, NATO decided to bomb Serbia. I think you know it. And if you don't know it, I'm pretty sure you will heard about it these days. And that was a big shock, not just for Serbia, obviously, but also for all Europeans that think that it's not normal at the end of the 20th century to bomb a country, civilians, with depleted uranium, and to do really bad things to good girls and boys. So we were really shocked by it, and we were against it. And in that time, I was young, I was 13 years old, but my father spoke a lot to my brother, my sister, to me about what was happening here in Serbia. And so, you know, it's when you watch soccer, if you have a big team against a small team, you always or for the small team. So when 19 countries from NATO attacked a small country, of course you have to be for the small country and you want them to resist to it. But when you are a 13 years old boy, you can not do nothing. You cannot do anything. So, what can I say? That we felt a lot thing to the Serbian people in that time. So in 2004, and that will be the conclusion of this introduction, I speak a little bit about history at the beginning because everything is about history in the Balkans. In Europe generally, but especially in the Balkans. And something that maybe for you is far, far away, for an average Serbian guy, it's not. So if I speak about the First World War, or even at the, I speak about this Franco-Prussian War in 1870, so wow, who was in power in America in that time? It was Abraham Lincoln, I think, or it's that period. But for Europeans, and especially for Serbs, it's like nothing. It's like 6 months. Okay? That's a reality. So thinking about history is not the same. And so if you want to understand the Balkans, Serbia, Montenegro, Albania, tomorrow, you have to understand history. And in my case, everything was and began with history. And in 2004, during 2 days, we had in Kosovo, so that's the southern part of Serbia, 2 days of pogroms, of violence against the Serbs. And bad people, bad guys, extremists destroyed hundreds of churches, monasteries. 10,000 people fled their home due to the violence, and they were alone. Nobody cared about them. And in that time, I was a student, as you are. I was 19 years old, and I decided with my brother and with some friends to create an organization to help the kids that were refugees in that time and to offer them Christmas. So some toys for Christmas, and to prove to them that they are not alone, to prove to them that someone far, far away from some France, Paris, cares about them. And this support was important for them. But that first mission changed my life and my vision of everything, not just about Serbia, but about life at all. And that's when I began to come and to become, year after year,
So
more and more Serbian.
So 2004 was the first time you've been to Serbia?
Yes, it was, yes. So now it's like more than 20 years ago, and it was in Kosovska Mitrovica, so it's a divided city like Belfast in Ireland. It's the same case. South part is Albanian, the north part is Serbian. People don't communicate. You have a bridge. The bridge makes an invisible border. No one crosses it. In that time, it was very dangerous. Some few months before my first coming to Mitrovica, people were shot by snipers on that bridge. The first guy, the first Serb that I met, his name was Dragan. His father was killed during this pogrom by a sniper in that very bridge in Mitrovica. So everything that I watched on TV or I read about it, it was like there in front of me. And it was really a specific experience. And in that time, I was really shocked by the poverty that I saw. Yes, of course, adults you can feel things about adults when they are very poor, but when you see children with nothing. It was winter because we came for Christmas. I saw in small villages kids with no winter clothes, just with some sandals and wood socks, wool socks, and it was everything they had. I was very surprised when I gave some football ball to a boy. It was like today maybe I don't know what I should give to one boy of 10 years to make him happy as I made him happy with the small ball that cost maybe 8 euros. I gave to a little girl her first doll. She was like her face was with a very big smile. I didn't speak Serbian in that time, so I asked Dragan to translate it. I asked him, okay, can you ask her, does she like the doll? And she said, yes, I like the doll. And I asked I was, how would say it, making a joke, like, oh, do you like to play with the dolls, everything? And she did this, like, I don't know. And so I said, how do you not know if you like dolls or not? And she said something, and she became red on her face, and she just did like that, like she was ashamed. And Dragan, when he translated it to me, I was very feeling something in my throat, because she said that it was her first doll in life. Now I have 2 girls, baby girls, so I know that little girls play with dolls when they are like 6, 7 years old, not when they are 12-year-olds. But for her, and she was 12 years old, it was her first doll. So when I came back to France after this first convoy, I was convinced that what we had done, it was not just, a good experience. You're students, you want to discover some new things, and that's good, but it was not that. It was the beginning of something. And I knew also that we will continue and we will come year after year, because maybe we cannot change everything. And that's maybe a good thing when I said that it changed my life and my vision of the life, and not just my vision of Serbia. It's because today when we see, and we are overcrowded with some bad information all over the world, and we see it, and sometimes we are shocked, sometimes not, but what can we do? What could we do in that time for Kosovo? America was on the ground, Russia was on the ground, all the European countries, and you are like 20-year-old French guy. What can you do? You cannot change the world. You cannot even change the situation in Kosovo. But what you can do is that you can make this world a little better place. Just because you have helped maybe 100 kids, that's a good thing, that's a good beginning. And step after step, you can change a lot of things. It's not about, wow, very good people that you watch on TV, that they can make very big steps because they are very rich, very influenced. But in the end, our small step that every day we do have more influence than their actions. So that's why we continued, and from a small, very small organizations with very limited possibilities, we became one of the greatest organizations, not just in Serbia, but in the Balkans, and even for French, at the French level, we are pretty big with more than 12,000 people, donors that help on a monthly basis our organization. So we can do not only convoys, but also a lot of things about schools, about holidays for the kids, and everything else.
So that was a part of my second question. You establishing Solidarite Kosovo and some of the mission and the goals. What are some of the biggest results of what you achieved in that humanitarian work? What is some stories that you're particularly proud? Because we heard, I remember watching on TV, convoys coming, gifts coming, and for me, growing up, it was almost weird to have French people helping us, because in our mind, French people or the French government contributed to what was happening on the ground. So what are the most important results? But how did you tell the story to French people? Because they were hearing in the media something completely different.
These are two very good questions. I will answer at the beginning with the simpler one. So, from my perspective, what the most significant actions, or maybe when we help people to work and to live on their own, and so they do not depend anymore from humanitarian help. Because with convoy, unfortunately, it's still needed, so you have to bring something. But the aim and our goal is not to bring always something that people will use and after they need it, but just to help them so they can work alone. And the Serbian people in Kosovo are very brave and very intelligent, and they are really willing to do it by themselves. So we give and distribute regularly greenhouses, but cows also, goats, chickens, a lot of animals, and they do farming, they do, I would say, livestock breeding, and they do agriculture also. We created also some small fabrics so they can transform the milk into cheese, and so we organized like how would say, lanac?
Chain.
A chain, like in French, okay. Chain. Some French linguist said one time that English doesn't exist, it's just a French language with a bad pronunciation. So, but I'm not sure that he was right. He was maybe a chauvinistic French linguist, but so chain, okay, in chaîne. So, because these people they cannot live in cities anymore, they were expelled from that, and they live only in villages. These villages are isolated, so we call them enclaves. It's like ghettos, it's like a prison on an open sky. So they live there, and they communicate together, and they don't have access to the cities. And when we help them with autarky, so they can live on their own. And just to give you a few examples, how that kind of life has an impact on the children. Every year we organize holidays for the children of the enclaves, and we go to the seaside. So the first year we did it, it was in 2012. We were in Herceg-Novi in Montenegro, very beautiful place. And the kids were amazed, you know, by what? Of course, by the sea, everything, but by the elevator in the hotel. Because it was their first time they saw an elevator. And they were always going up, down, and unfortunately for the other guests of the hotel. But for us and for them, it was a real discovery. A little boy, his name is Milos, the first time he went in the sea, he was just like, wow, but the sea is salty, you know? So that kind of reaction, you can imagine how they live, because they react like that. Also, we have almost 50 children in each group. On 50 children, only 10 know how to swim. 40 do not know, and they are like 12, 13, 14 years old. Why do they not know? Because they don't have access to swimming pools. And the kids that know how to swim is just because they are from Gorazdevac or some other little village where you have a river. So that's their life. And how did we success in gathering all these donors in France, despite the bad propaganda that was very promoted on TV during the 90s and at the beginning of the 2000s, it's because we spoke what we had seen, with no politics, nothing ideologic, just the examples that I told you, for example. We also show them the pictures we took. We organized some to broadcast and to film some documentary films about their life, normal life of normal people. How does a priest in Orahovac lives? And this city is also a divided city. It's like a small, it's like a hill, and at the head of the hill, up the hill, you have the Serbian part where Serbs and Roms live together, and down the hill, you have all the Albanian one. And when I was for the first time in Orahovac, we were visiting this city, this ghetto with the priest, and for us, it was invisible. You know, when I talked at the beginning about invisible borders, for us, it was invisible. We couldn't see any difference in about the people. We cannot we couldn't make any difference, and about the streets, the houses. But for the people that live there, everything is very clear. And in one moment, the priest stopped. He was explaining us something. We were just going on foot, and he stopped and he told us, "Okay, down there, I cannot go, because I'm a priest." So he has a cross, he has a sutan, so priest clothes, and I will be in danger. So you can go alone. I will stay here and wait for you. That's their life. And our mission, beside the just humanitarian help, was to explain why is it important for French people to help the Serbian people, why it concerned all of us. And because you live in America or you're from America, the distance are not the same. In Europe, you know, when you say, "Oh, I'm going to take plane," they're all, "Oh, really, it's a big deal, it's very far." So from Paris to Kosovo and Metohija, you have less than 2,000 kilometers. So from Boston to Chicago, maybe a little. That's almost it, yeah, right? I mean 1 hour and a half, and you are by plane in Kosovo. So that's here, that's in our garden. It's very close, and we have to be solidary to the people that live in this condition now.
There was actually a video I watched a few days ago on YouTube. One guy took a car and in 24 hours went through 14 European countries. So started right after midnight somewhere in Belgium and then finished in Serbia 11 something p.m.
I know what, when I go to see my parents for Christmas or for the summer vacations, I take my car from Belgrade. I just drive an hour and a half, no, an hour or 45 minutes if I go more rapidly. I'm in Croatia. After Croatia, I need 3.5 hours, and I am in Slovenia. For Slovenia, I need 1 hour and a half, and I am in Italy. In Italy, I need 7 hours, and I am in Grenoble, in France. So it's very close. And the first time we came to Kosovo, we just drove a van for like 20 hours. So it's there. And when something is close to you, of course, it matters more because you have the feeling that you can do something and that it considers you. When you see something on the news and it's like on the other side of the planet, of course, it hurts you and it bothers you, but you don't feel that you can change anything. But in that case, we felt and we still think that we can change a lot of things.
And one of the impacts of your success today is that now you're banned from entering Kosovo, and there was also a big media push. It got a lot of attention when you were actually banned from entering. And in the last couple of years, you decided to change your humanitarian work to your work in the government. And you first joined the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, working in the Office for Diaspora, and then you moved, essentially, it was a part of your idea was establishing the Office for Public and Cultural Diplomacy. So how did that transition go? Why did you decide to join the government? And what is the mission of the newly established office to do in the world, and how you communicate, and what do you communicate to the world?
So it was not an easy decision to make, because when you do humanitarian work, obviously everyone likes what you do because it's humanitarian, it's beautiful, and it doesn't hurt anybody. And when you enter a government, so you're in politics, I don't know in your countries, but I'm pretty sure that it's like in France, in Serbia, in other countries, people don't like very much politicians, right? Am I right? Because you're from 15 countries. Is anyone there and in his country someone likes the politicians? Just oh, where are you
Mexico.
from? Yeah, I saw that you. So of course, but for me and from my perspective, everything is politics. So politics means to deal with the common good, to do things for the common good. So you can do it with a humanitarian organization, you can renove a school, and we renoved 55 schools. You do it with the private money from donors, but the result is the same as if you can do it with the government and you can renove the same school. So the result is the same, and the result is to help people and to help the society to be a better place to live. So for me, it was not a big jump. It was just doing the same thing with in different manners and methods. So when I was in the office for diaspora, we opened on Earth, on the planet, 34 schools for Serbian language, so that the people with Serbian origins, the kids, can learn the Serbian language. As I said, with my humanitarian organization, we renoved 55 schools. So for me, it was important maybe okay, that's something I'm thinking about sometimes, why we need to do it. But if you care about just about popularity, maybe that's not a good thing to do this. But what is popularity? Popularity is just that someone that now lives with you likes you or dislikes you, right? But one day you will be dead, and the people that like you or dislike you will be dead too. So popularity, in the end, will not exist anymore. It will just disappear. It's not important. It's like just Twitter or Facebook. I mean, no one will care about it in 50 or 100 years. What will stay and rest after you is what you have done. And you can do it through different angles, but the result is the only thing that matters. And that's why I decided to rejoin the government, so I can do more things that are in accordance with my vision of the world, of the society, and of Serbia. And I was very happy to do things for the diaspora and to propose to the president and to the government of Serbia to create this Office for Public and Cultural Diplomacy, because I was very malcontent or unhappy when I saw that the Serbian people that are really good people have such a bad reputation. And I'm sure, and I was sure that we can change it just by making them more famous and not more popular, but that people hear about their culture, their history, and about what happened and what is happening in this region. That's why we created this office, and that's why we organize all over the world many cultural projects. We had in Washington, D.C. a festival of the Serbian film in English language, so the people could see that Serbia has a very good cinematography with a very particular humor, very interesting one, and it's very different from American films or French films, and it's worth to see it. We had also a big exhibition in UNESCO, in this big international organization in Paris, about the Serbian monastery in Kosovo, in Metohija. We had also an exhibition about in Copenhagen, in Denmark, about the Miroslav Gospel. Do you know what the Miroslav Gospel is? It's the most ancient, the oldest manuscript, so script, in Serbian language in the world. It's from the 11th century. So, and that document proves that literacy in Serbia has lasted for more than 1,000 years. So it was like 500 years before Christoph Columb discovered America. So that's a big number. And but how did we present it? Because, okay, people that like history, they will learn about it and they will read something about it. But a lot of people also like technology. And you know what is a big trend in the museum all over the planet, and not for the libraries, also it's digitalization. So we organized the presentation of the digitization of the Serbian Miroslav Gospel in Copenhagen, because this process was done with Denmark. They are like the best in the world for this area, a field of, and in this field. So a lot of people came just to see both the Miroslav Gospel and both this process of digitalization of an ancient manuscript. And we, in that way, succeeded in presenting them Serbia from another angle that is not war, the past, or Novak Djokovic. Is there someone that doesn't know who is Novak Djokovic? Who Novak Djokovic is? No, you all know. Do you all know that he's a Serb? Yes. Yes. No, you said no. Yeah, no, I know. And you know who he is? No. A tennis man. He's a good guy. He's the most famous Serbian player.
A tennis player.
Tennis player, #1. Better than Pete Sampras. You know.
No, thank you for this. In the past meetings we had, people have always had a lot of questions. And they're actually very good questions. So we should take a few questions here and then go down to dinner, and then we can continue this discussion. I know we're keeping you away from food, so I don't want to do that for too long, but also want to give Arno an opportunity to respond to all of you so you can all hear what he has to say, because his story is deeply personal, but it's also really a telling about the country as a whole and where we are going, but where we also came from. So if anyone has questions, we can start a few questions and then we'll transition down for dinner. First one.
Thank you, sir. I understand that you were on the top 10 of SNS's parliamentary list for the last election and served for a number of months as a member of the National Assembly that we visited earlier today. I wonder if you could share sort of the circumstances that led to you being like at the very top of the main party's electoral list and your tenure in government, and what made you choose to step down from your position?
Yes, you're well, how to say it? Informed, yes. You're well informed. Yes, I was a candidate for the parliament in Serbia. In Serbia, the political system is proportional, so you have one list, one vote, and how many % of the votes you obtain. That's proportionally the number of the seats, so of the deputies you will have. And so you always put on the top of the list people that are recognizable and with whom the public is familiar. So that was my case, and that was why I was on the top of the list. But of course, the president Vučić is the personification of the Serbian Progressive Party, and also the reason why the people vote for him. And we are here to support his politics, and that was my choice to support him for this election, because I think that Serbia has roots, you know. I talked about them. It's Kosovo, it's the identity, it's culture, everything, and we have to preserve it, because with no roots you are nobody. But Serbia has also wings, and with wings you can fly, you can surpass and transpass what you are, and you can achieve very big things. And for me, that's the politics that the President Vučić leads, and that's the reason of my political engagement. And after these elections in 2023, yes, I was elected for deputy. And because you cannot be both, as you know, on an executive position and a legislative one, I had to choose. And of course, I chose to be on the executive position. And it was an honor to be in charge, and that they proposed me to lead this office that we created together. So that was not no hard feelings, how to say, to lead the parliament, even if it's a great honor, because it's really the temple of the democracy in every country.
Could you tell us a story when you had to make, you just mentioned how it's about impact and not just about the opinions in the moment. Can you tell us when you had to make a decision that you knew would maybe be controversial, but you knew over the long run would have that impact that you hope to have? Yeah,
thank you for this question. Okay, the first decision that I made and that was controversial in that time was when I created a humanitarian organization to help the Serbs in the Balkan, because they convinced us in the media that the Serbs were the bad guys that killed everyone in Bosnia, in Kosovo, and no one was speaking about the Serbian victims. They were ignored. So when I decided in 2004 to create an organization to help the Serbs, one of my friends that knows me, everything, he told me, okay, Arno, humanitarian help is a great thing, but why for the Serbs? And I told him, because my heart is with them. And that was my only answer, not to justify myself or justify my choices, but just go on. Because if you stand for something, if you believe in something, no one can stop you. And that's what I did. And the second decision that I made that was maybe controversial was when I decided to enter politics. Because, as I said, it's not popular to be a politician anywhere in the world. And that's the case in Serbia. But I didn't want to be the prisoner, can say the prisoner? I didn't want to be the prisoner of my popularity, because it's good to be popular, but this popularity can be a golden chain. So it's gold, but it's still a chain. And you just have to cut it if you want to be free and to make your own decisions. And it was not a simple decision. For some people, it's like a bad decision. But when I look backward and I see what I have done since I entered politics, I'm very proud of this decision, and I would do the same if I have to. And I will continue on this road, because politics, as humanitarian work, as everything in life, is just about endurance. It's just about to continue. You will fall, and I fell many times, but I always rise after that, and that's it. So if I had some piece of advice to you, it's just do what you think is right, and you will never be wrong, and you will never feel bad. And in politics, I try just to be myself. I cannot say everything I think, because you have to be diplomatic, but I would never say something that I cannot stand for. And that's my only rule, and I will stick to it.
More questions? No, it feels the desire for dinner is too strong.
Yes.
Thank you.